Real Rock 1039 The Bear. I am Tommy, backstage at Fort Wayne, getting lucky enough to hang out with Buckcherry. Another great set tonight. I'm backstage talking with guitarist Keith Nelson. Now, Keith, man, I want to say congrats on a great set tonight. But more than that, great album, man.
Thanks,
now,
man.
tell me about the making of the new album, and I'm hearing that you got to do this on your own stuff this time.
Yeah, you know what we did is we went and we made the record at my house, and I have a studio at my house. What's up, man? 3 days grace, guys. Say hello. Sorry, it's bad for video.
That's all right, man.
Good for us. We actually made the record at my house, and we just took our time. We set up live, and then it gave us the freedom to kind of start and stop and write and record and come back and do it however we wanted. We were in no hurry.
Now, I know you guys have worked with producer Marty Fredrickson for a long time, since 15, but pretty much all night long was your baby this time around. I know he was involved. It's good to have that pair of ears, but did this add any pressure to you, or was this the best thing that could ever happen to you and Buckcherry?
No, you know, Marty serves a specific role in our production team. You know, we did Black Butterfly together, and we did this record together, and Marty's really great for just that sixth member of the band that kind of comes in and helps us. So I always feel the pressure to make a great record, and that has nothing to do with anything outside of the band. I want to make records that I'm proud of, that the band is proud of, that, you know, are classic records, that 15, 20 years from now people look back at this time in music and go, that was good rock and roll.
Now, I was doing some of my homework, and I found out producing, and really this isn't your first rodeo. When Buckcherry kind of bombed down the first time, you did some other stuff out there.
Yeah, you know, I was lucky enough that when we had our downtime, I got a gig in a recording studio in LA, so it was a good opportunity for me to just shut up and learn stuff, you know, show up every day to work, and if I paid attention, I really got the opportunity to learn a lot from a really phenomenal engineer, and you know, learn about what I liked and didn't like about the recording process.
Now, I'm with Buckcherry guitarist, singer, songwriter, and now producer Keith Nelson. Now, a lot of newer fans kind of, you know, you guys had the first run, and then all of a sudden 15 comes out, and it's like everybody's acting like you're a new band. You guys have been around for quite a while, and Crazy Bitch and all the other songs blew up. Tell us about the first chapter of Buckcherry and kind of what kind of cooled things down. You took a break, and then tell me about the new chapter of Buckcherry.
Well, I mean, from the beginning, you know, when Josh and I put the band together, we got a few guys with us that were local guys in LA, and we made the first 2 records. What a lot of people don't realize is that those guys quit at the end of the Time Bomb tour. So there was only Josh and I left. And it really just kind of became trying to keep something alive, and there was no momentum anywhere. The label didn't really care about us, but they wouldn't drop us. We couldn't really find band members, so we took the time off, and then, you know, 3 years later, when we put it back together, we decided if we were going to do it, we were going to get guys in the band that were actually friends of ours, and it really worked out great.
Well, it's been growing great for you so far. Now, you know, I've seen you guys tour with AC/DC. You've been out with Kiss. I was talking earlier to you about the Kiss Alive 35. You know, when I see a lot of bands, you know, especially getting the second run of their career and stuff, a lot of bands tend to fizzle out in the back end, and you guys seem to get stronger and stronger. And every time I see you guys, the performances are getting, I think, better and more entertaining. I mean, I'm seeing more entertainment, and you look like you're having fun. I mean, tonight, I saw you smiling, flicking pics to people. You're having fun. You know, and for a band, you know, together this long, that's still cool.
Well,
you know?
I mean, it really comes down to the camaraderie with the guys in the band. We're all friends. We hang out on our days off. We hang out when we have downtime. So I think that vibe of the 5 of us being really good friends, it just kind of, you know, it takes over the making of the records and the rehearsals and the live shows. It's all kind of 5 guys that enjoy each other's company doing something that we love to do.
Now, last time I caught you guys here, I was lucky enough to kind of sit on the side of the stage, and I was about 10 feet from that awesome line of guitars you got. And one thing I noticed, well, I want to ask you first, is there a guitar in that rack, or maybe one that you have at home? Is there that one that you just pick it up and that's the magic one? That's the one that the riffs, maybe it's an acoustic, I don't know, but what's that magic guitar for you?
Well, I mean, there's been a few guitars that are like that. I try not to, I own a lot of guitars. I try not to really own anything that doesn't feel great, sound great, inspire me, you know. I've been traveling with more and more old guitars. A lot of guys don't want to take out old stuff because it's vintage and it's expensive or it's worth a lot of money. I take out old stuff. I take out my favorite new stuff. I have a couple of guitars that are always at my house that I always pick up in the kitchen and start riffing on and stuff. I have a particular acoustic guitar, an old Martin acoustic guitar that I actually wrote a lot of this record on, even though it's electric.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of times you just sit around your acoustic, you know, sitting on the couch, and there's where they come, and then later they turn into these other, you know, progressions.
Absolutely. I mean, even though it's an acoustic guitar, I hear it in my head electrically and kind of what it could be. So it kind of starts like that.
Something I noticed tonight that I haven't seen a lot of guitar players do is I saw your cabinet's kind of laying on an angle. Explain the angle on that. I'm sure it'll wind up on YouTube somewhere.
Well, I mean, that kind of started off because I like to play amps that don't have a master volume. They just have a volume, and the more you have to turn them up to get the sound.
Right.
And I like to use multiple amps, so that means multiple loud amps on stage. And what ended up happening was the people in the front rows were getting killed by my guitars. I don't mind it, but all they're hearing is my guitar coming off the stage really loud, and they're not really getting vocals and the sound of the band. So what leading my cabinets allowed me to do was turn everything up, still get the sound I want, but they can still mix everything.
But you got to run them a little hotter when you're using those, not double, you know, the extra gain or extra power on the amps. I just thought that was pretty cool. I want to ask you one more question, Keith. You know, you guys have been around long enough as music fans to kind of see some of the transgressions in music, like from what MTV did to music, like it changed music in the 80s. And then you got downloading, you know, when the internet comes along and the iTunes and all that. Do you feel YouTube is now affecting artists' shows at all? Or do you think that YouTube is playing any part of, you know, maybe people making decisions on whether they come to a show or not?
Well, you know, I haven't really thought of it about like that, whether or not they use it to decide. I think that it's definitely raised the bar for the performance of bands, because anything that you do can end up, you know, anyone in the world can see it. It used to be if it was a Tuesday night in some town, no one knew what you were up to. And
but now, before you're done, it's on YouTube or on Facebook.
Yeah, now there's no hiding. So some bands that's a problem for. I mean, our reputation as a live band kind of precedes us, so I think it's great.
Well, you guys got a brand new single called Dead. Tell me a little bit about the song before I cut you loose.
Yeah, Dead was one of the first songs I actually came into the rehearsal room with. I had those riffs and stuff, and Josh really nailed it with some lyrics that kind of, he wrote some lyrics that we can all identify with, which basically are about being a kid, being passionate about something, wanting to follow your dreams, but the people around you just don't really support that, you know. Parents, teachers, you know, wanting to grow up and be a musician, you don't get a lot of support of that. A lot of support to do that. Everyone wants you to go to college or figure out what kind of job. So that's kind of what the lyrics are about, you know. It's kind of, as Josh says, it's a big F you to the man. And, you know, the music came together really quickly, and then the longer we played the song, that guitar solo at the end just kind of started to get longer and longer and longer, and so Steve and I do a trading thing at the end, and we play a harmony bit, and it's a lot of fun.
As being a big fan of guitar, I love to see the extra stuff, even the extended version of Crazy Bitch tonight, where you guys start riffing at the end. You guys make it more fun. I like it when you go see a show and you guys do stuff like that. It's a show. Well, you can buy the record, but it's nice to go out and hear these extended versions and the extra stuff that you guys add.
It's a lot of fun. So many bands now are playing to pre-recorded tapes.
Yes.
And they can't do improv like we do.
Right.
And there's so many moments in the night where we know that we're going to start something. We don't really know how it's going to end or how long it's going to go, but it's just the five of us. We don't have to worry about the computer running.
Right.
We just do our thing.
Well, Keith, I really appreciate you taking the time out. Nice job on the record. It's kind of cool to see you get behind the helms and all that. And looking forward to hearing more from you guys and seeing you guys again, man.
Well, yeah, thanks, dude.